Hi, I'm Veronika Whyte, and this is The Psychology of Us, a space where we explore the emotional, psychological, and often unseen layers behind human performance, identity, and transformation. Today's episode brings together two very different worlds, but one powerful message about mental resilience, belief, and what it means to rebuild your identity when the world has counted you out. We will have a conversation with two athletes from very different worlds, shaped by different cultures, sports, and stages, but connected by something far deeper than physical ability. At first glance, you might see contrast. One lifts record-breaking weight on the world stage, the other carries the weight of loyalty and leadership at the community level. But when you look closer, you see the thread that ties them together, the psychology of persistence. That relentless inner voice that says keep going when body hurts, when the odds are against you, or when no one's watching. The mindset that doesn't just chase the next win, but wrestles with self-doubt, reinvents identity after loss, and keeps showing up, not because it's easy, but because something in you refuses to quit. Our first guest is Vladislav Alhazov. He's an Israeli-Russian powerlifter, known globally for his extraordinary strength, mental resilience, and record-shattering achievements. He holds the all-time world record for the heaviest raw squat with reps at an astonishing 525 kilograms, or 1,157 pounds, a feat that redefined the limits of human capability. In 2017, Vlad became the first man to raw squat 500 kilograms at the NAP Open Israel Championships. A year later, he made history again by becoming the first to raw squat 505 kilograms within a full powerlifting meet at the Arnold Sports Festival in Australia, a world record he now shares with Dan Bell. Before dominating the raw lifting world, Vlad was an elite, multiply-equipped lifter, squatting an unmatched 567 kilograms. However, a catastrophic knee injury during a 590 kilograms attempt in 2008 could have ended his career. Instead, it marked the beginning of an inspiring comeback that showcased not just physical power, but deep psychological strength. Welcome to the studio, Vlad. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you for having me for today for interview.
Let's go back to that moment when that catastrophic injury happened. What did go through your mind? And tell us a little bit more.
It was back in the days 2009. It was in Ohio, Columbus.
Right.
It was back in the days, I think it was most famous gym in not just in the United States, I think in the world, which is called West Side Barbell. We was trying to lifting really heavy weights. It was a Friday, and I just tried to lift over my limit back in the days. I already set up world record, which was 567.5 kg equipped on the squat. And I tried lift around 600, maybe 610 kg, which was 30 to 40 kg more than my previous record. And when I took off the weight and I go down, my left knee just collapsed and my ACL, MCL, PCL has been torn. I didn't knew at the moment this is what happened.
Yeah.
I didn't realize what kind of really bad injury. So Louis Simmons just took me to the hospital. When I done my MRI, all my checks, and I realized injury really catastrophic. And I was waiting a couple of days to get my surgery.
You didn't realize how serious it was in the moment. So when did you realize, and how did it hit you? Like, what did you think?
When weight just actually smashed me on the bottom, I almost passed out, but I realized I still feel I can watch, I can see, and they give me a lot of ammonia to awake me. And when I tried to lift me, I stand up on my right foot, but when I was on my left foot, I just collapsed. I knew it's something wrong with my knee, but I didn't know how it's serious. And I knew already if you just tore your ACL, you out of heavy lifting about a year, maybe more.
And what did the doctor say?
Yeah, so what happened is before surgery, my orthopedic doctor said, you can forget about heavy lifting.
You did.
Yeah, you're never gonna come back. And
Did you believe them in that moment?
I was shocked.
Yeah, you were.
Because
Must be.
yeah, I was in wheelchair until I get to surgery. If I was stand up, I have to use my crutches.
Did they find the right size of wheelchair for you?
Yeah, I believe
That must be
they
hard.
did. And I never used crutches, not before surgery. And after surgery, I was using about 4 to 5 weeks, which is really was tough for me, mental for me.
Yeah.
Like you have healthy person, but you already use. I was back in days like 28, 29, and I used already crutches. And I said to myself, if I'm not going to be mental strong, I never come back to lifting again.
Okay. So you talk about this mental strength, but where did it come from? How did you access that mental strength?
First of all, a lot of people say this guy, he's a dying horse. He's never going to make a comeback. So it's make you,
That's a little bit harsh.
yeah, make you awake from weak to be stronger. Okay. So I believe if human being have a body, you should have a strong spirit.
Yeah.
Okay. But also, when I did my first comeback, I just couldn't lift empty bar, and it was really a lot of pain on my left knee, on my left knee joint.
Yes.
And after, I believe, 5 to 6 months, step by step, I realized I have a strength to come back again. But I didn't know I can set up world records.
So that world record happened after the injury.
I did before, but it was
Different.
old era of equipped powerlifting. This is era new. It's raw. You don't use equipped lifting. Use only, which is mean knee reps and.
Okay, that's just the article about you and about your achievements.
By the way, this has happened in Melbourne 2018.
It did. That's wonderful.
And what happened is I started believing myself more and more, and I became in 2017 first person who squat 500 ever in raw division, 500.
Would you say raw division was more difficult, more challenging than the previous?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because you don't use much equipment. But again, a lot of people used to say West Side Barbell were really good as a equipped powerlifter, but we never could be strong as a raw powerlifter.
Right.
And I prove completely different because if your mental brain and your body are able to lift, even equipped such a big weights, you prepare your brain and mental mindset to lift heavy, even raw. And this is what happened. You just prove to everybody, if you lift such a heavy things, you can lift in raw division, and you can be first, best of the best in raw division, and you can do it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So you said that people didn't believe in you.
No, absolutely not.
And then how did you what's the challenge, when people don't believe in you? Where did you find the strength not to listen to them and just do it anyway?
I think human being, especially athlete, it doesn't matter what kind of sport, what make you feel stronger mentally and physically, as much we say you're useless, you're weak, so it's give you a lot of strength. It's give you a lot of power to believe in yourself. And first of all, especially weightlifting, powerlifting, strongman, it's a sport you compete against yourself. This is hardest point. My comeback was just fight against me. And if I gave up, I never realized after that kind of such a catastrophic injury, I do ever come back in my life. And after 6 months, as I said, even empty bar was really painful for my left joint, for my left knee. And when I talk to other guys who got injuries, not such a bad like me, but we did come back and we lift heavy again, I said, if they did, so I can do as well.
Okay. So there were some people who did not believe in you, but there were some people, examples
Yes,
of
yes.
that it's possible.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Was the world record was always on your mind, or it just came later in your career?
2016, it was Andrei Melanichev. He hit 485. And I just, in my gym, just in regular workout, I did 480 for triple. I knew it, I gonna hit 500 at least or more. And this is what happened. 2017, I was the first person who scored 500. By the way, today we have only Dan Bell, Mojtaba Maleki, and I believe that's it. 2 or 3 people who did 500. I'm not talking about 510 and 525. From 2018 until 2025, it's almost 8 years. Nobody even hit over 510 kg on the squat.
Makes your achievement even more incredible.
Absolutely. Yep.
That's amazing. Did you use this achievement as a metaphor in your life and used it in other areas in your life when you were challenged?
In the gym, actually, I squat 532.5 before my contest in Melbourne. And when I went to Belarus, Minsk, which was 2018, I knew it, or you're gonna do same weight, or you're gonna do maybe more. But what happened in Belarus, the judge referee was very, very strict. So I start from first attempt, 465. They failed me. After I went to 510, 3 white lights. And after I said, if I go 530, it will be too much. Me and my coach, we decided to do 525. And it was a right bet. We successful. And until today, nobody broke it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And can we see your wonderful trophy? When you
Yeah,
achieved
absolutely.
that?
Yeah, with this belt, I did this, and it's kind of heavy, but you can lift it.
That's enough for my workout for today. That's a little bit heavy.
Yeah.
Oh, well, so that's what you were wearing?
Yes, absolutely. And my 2 knee reps, but I didn't bring it today.
Yeah. What advice would you give to someone facing these impossible comebacks in life? Maybe not just only in sports, but anywhere in their life.
You have to believe in yourself. And my biggest support, my biggest, I would say, mentoring, it's my family.
Your family.
My wife, my 2 daughters. It's given me a lot of power to break world records, not just on the sport, on my life. And never listen to doctor.
Yeah, never listen to the doctor. That's the advice, sir.
Yeah, because if you listen to doctor, you'll be useless from your first appointment by orthopedic, by any doctor, what he is good on this, okay? And everything possible, if you really want to do it. Some people will do limits, we blame themselves, but we're always looking for excuses, but it's no red line. You always can do better, better, and better.
So not looking for the excuses, but looking for this internal resources and motivation from within.
Yes.
To overcome the challenges.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure lots of people, who facing the challenge in their life might find inspiration to move forward and just to try it one more time.
Thank you so much for having me, and
to the next record.
Yeah, really happy to see you.
Thank you. Welcome back, and now we'll talk with our second athlete. Cricket isn't just a game in Australia, it's cornerstone of community life. From backyard battles and weekend warriors to club champions, cricket brings communities together through fierce competition, deep camaraderie, and a sense of belonging that stretches far beyond the boundary line. At the grassroots level, clubs like Hallam Kalora Cricket Club keep that spirit alive. With a strong focus on community, inclusion, and player development, Hallam Kalora has become more than a club. It's a second home for many, nurturing talent and lifelong friendships across generations. It's where mateship is forged, resilience is tested, and every season becomes part of a bigger story. One chapter of that story came 4 years ago when the Hallam Kalora team achieved something unforgettable, a grand final win. It wasn't just one moment or one player, it was a collective triumph built on the hard work, trust, and spirit of the entire team. Among those teammates was Will Whyte, a passionate player and a true clubman as endorsed by his teammates. Will Whyte's cricket journey didn't follow a traditional path, and maybe that's what makes it so relatable. He was 17 when he was first dragged along to join Hallam Kalora Cricket Club. No junior cricket, no early coaching. He taught himself how to bowl by watching a legendary cricketer, Glenn McGrath, on TV and practicing in the yard with his brother. Will's been a mainstay of the club, showing up, pushing through, and playing with heart, even through serious injuries. But through it all, what's mattered most to Will is the bond with his teammates, the pride of the Hallam Kalora colours, and the love of the game. That's never let him go. This year, the club came agonizingly close to another big win, and we explore the emotional landscape of being right on the edge of glory and what that teaches us about sport, self, and the emotional toll of high-performance sport at the community level. Let's start going back to that big moment of win 4 years ago.
It was a great moment, I suppose, in my sporting career, considering it's only local cricket. But yeah, it's very, very highs in that period. The fact that we trained so hard during the COVID years, because that was during COVID. Business as well. And we all work separate jobs, and we all come up and play on a Saturday to try and have success with our mates that we grew up with or that we've just met at the cricket level, at the community. So yeah, I can't go through it. I suppose the photos that we have to share still brings back the goosebumps when we look through them, and having my family and my daughter there for so many good photos. Yeah, it still gives me goosebumps now, even when I talk about it.
It's amazing achievements. And that happened after 19 years of trying?
Yeah, it was probably close to 16 years of trying, backing up week in, week out. That year, actually, I did take, I actually organised a personal trainer myself to help me a little bit that year. I was very, very determined on achieving something that year. So,
what did that moment teach you about your own self-identity, about self perhaps? How did you find these internal resources to be part of the team and bring that grand final win?
I suppose that's what I was mentioning with the personal trainer. I thought if I could bring the best version of myself in a team game, because it is it's a team-oriented game, but it's a very selfish team-oriented game. So the better you do individually, the better the team does, and it contributes to the success of the team. So yeah, I did what I could to bring the best version of myself to the team, and it worked out. It was one of the best years I had up to that point, and we'd come home with the cup, I guess, and it was a very, very warm and fuzzy moment seeing the past players that have played in the club means so much to so many people. So it was, as I said, it was a moment that I won't forget.
So we speak a lot about winning and going from zero to hero story, but when we nearly win and we put all our effort into something but we didn't get our way, but we came so close and we experienced that heartbreak and disappointment, what do you feel and how do you overcome that challenge of moving forward?
Well, I suppose it's changed over the years, the mental battles that I used to have when we didn't win that premiership, the motivation to go in, and your mind was just like, well, I need to train harder, I need to do this harder, I need to do that harder, I need to start pre-season earlier, and you're just mentally having those questions run over your head. What can I do to be better version of myself next season for the team? But since we won that, the questions become different. It's like, do I want to spend that much time away from the family? Do I want to continually go again and put my body through that? And you get asked these questions constantly. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? And then at the end of the day, I suppose, you make
so what would be your answers for the next season moving forward?
I suppose it's that maybe, I don't know, the legacy maybe that you want to leave. Even as a kid, you hear these things about people being talked about and how good they were in certain situations, and when things got tough, they were mentally strong enough to get through certain games. And I have played with a lot of injuries that you have to constantly bring yourself up to be able to perform and not show the opposition that you're hurt and keep going through it. So
tough.
Yeah.
Okay, can you share with us a couple of moments when you were injured but you still pursued?
Yeah, I had surgery on my elbow once, and I think the doctor told me to not play for I think about 4 months, and I was back playing within 3 weeks.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so
you didn't listen to the doctors?
No,
it
no,
seems like it's the message of today's episode.
I think if
Athletes do not listen to the doctors.
I don't know, maybe it's just the generation we grew. It's just you just keep going. You just keep going. You just keep performing. You don't like to show any weakness.
I have to put a disclaimer. That's not exactly the advice you follow.
I was going to say that as soon as I said I think I'm going down the wrong path. Yeah.
Do you ever wrestle with the past version of yourself when you won versus the version of yourself that didn't win?
I suppose yes. I suppose it goes back to the question that you asked before. What are the things that you could have done? That year that we won, I had a personal trainer constantly, and I was constantly getting pushed to work out and get stronger, strengthening myself. This year, personally, I had a better year statistically, but we didn't come away with it. And then you think, well, maybe it's because I didn't do this or I didn't do that. Or so yeah, you always wrestle. You're always comparing yourself with your past. But yeah, I suppose as a person, you have to like let it go as quick as you can.
So it's you versus you.
100%.
How to build the next version of yourself that will do better.
Because that's the thing, when your season finishes, you go straight into your own mind and you're thinking about, can I go again? And it's only the voice in your head that's telling you yes or no. So. And
cricket is the sport where it's a team sport. So how do you manage that, your own performance and the performance of the team? How does that work together?
Yeah, it is a funny one. Like, you have to be okay with someone else not doing something that you think that maybe you could have done. Because yeah, you are relying on 10 other people out there to either complete what you've started, or you're relying on them to score runs. As a bowler, I'm a bowler, so I rely on people to score runs so that I can then hopefully do my job. So yeah, in some weeks it doesn't work out.
It teaches you trust.
It does. You have to really have faith in someone that is outside your ability. But the older you get, I think the easier it gets. When you're young and you think you can probably take on the world, you really think that you could do better, or I could do better in that situation. But at the end of the day, I'm just a bowler and I couldn't hit a ball to save myself.
Okay. So what are you still chasing, and is it the win or something else?
I suppose now at this stage, we had our presentation night a few nights ago on Thursday. I suppose you look around the room on that night and you see the older guys that have done certain things for the club and are recognised on that level. I think now with my age and where I'm getting to, it'd be nice to be considered a Hallam great of the club. So that's probably it now, is just trying to chip away and do what I can for the club and maybe teach the young kids coming through like I was taught when I first come to the club. So,
you know, we use the sports and the patience and the focus and overcoming challenges in this as a metaphor for life. And I was wondering, do you have any advice for people who are watching us now? That what advice would you give to them how to overcome those challenges when you worked so hard for something but it didn't go your way?
I suppose if I was giving advice from the start, from when I first started, I was very, very persistent myself I started in the lowest grade possible, and I worked my butt off to get to where I wanted to go to, because I'm very competitive. And when results don't go your way, you have to always understand that there is other people on the other side that have families and friends that have dreams of winning just as much as you do, that have, completed their dreams. So you can't be too disheartened about it, because we're all just people trying to achieve the same goals. So you just go again and hope that the cards fall your way the next time, and you're the one celebrating, not commiserating. So.
Okay, that sounds like a good advice. Well, thank you, Will, for representing what so many people feel but rarely say, the emotional heart of sport, and your loyalty, grit and love for the game. They reflect everything that makes local cricket so meaningful. We're very grateful that you came in today to share your story.
Thanks for having me.
Of the win and the near win, and we wish you all the very best next season.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What we've heard today are two very different stories, one played out on the world stage, the other on local fields, and yet both speak to something universal, the human capacity to endure, evolve, and rise again. Vlad showed us what it means to confront pain head-on, to silence doubt with discipline, and to chase greatness even when the road back seemed impossible. Will reminded us that strength isn't always in the spotlight. Sometimes it's in the quiet, consistent presence of someone who never stops showing up for their team, for their club, and for the love of the game. In their own ways, both of these men have wrestled with identity, with failure, and with the kind of inner battles most people never see. But through persistence and a deep connection to something bigger than themselves, they found not just success, but meaning. So whether you're lifting the heaviest weight in the world or carrying the spirit of your team across seasons, the message is clear. True strength doesn't always roll. Sometimes it just refuses to quit. And thank you for watching The Psychology of Us. I'm Veronika Whyte, and I'll see you next time as we continue exploring the stories that shape us. Until then, take care of your mind, take care of your body, and never underestimate the quiet power of persistence.